And we are live. It is, what is the date today? May 7th. Did you do something big on May the 4th? May the 4th be with you? You know the Star Wars thing?
I do know the Star Wars thing. No. Well, I did do something actually. My daughter, but it had nothing to do with May the 4th. It had to do with my daughter took me to yoga and tulips in a winery. So I did do something, but it wasn't about that. It was Mother's Day or Mother's Day.
Very nice. Well, Mother's Day is next week, isn't it?
It's Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
But they were tickets, like they don't have it this weekend. So
good. I thought you might have dressed up as Princess Leia or something like that.
Definitely not. I'm not a Star Wars fan. No.
Do you even know Star Wars?
I do. I'm just not a fan. My boys are. I'm not a sci-fi kind of person.
Shock and surprise. Hope everybody's doing well. Today, we are going to be diving into the awesome world of video. I think the single most valuable asset that you can build in your online business, and we'll be here to answer questions. So this week begins a different phase in our boot camp. The first 4 weeks, we were really focusing on the core trainings, and all 8 lessons were focused on the real basic principles of an online business. The next couple of weeks, we are looking at some of the things that we think are super important from the Gray Wave perspective from us, and we're also letting you folks know about options for moving ahead. If you decide that building an online business is something that you want to do, and you like the idea of being supported by a community and the type of training and the type of support content we have here at Dottotech, then we will be filling you in through the next couple of weeks on our Gray Wave community, which the doors are now open. We welcomed our newest members in yesterday, so welcome to those of you who signed up yesterday. But for the next couple of weeks, we have the doors open so people can join us and benefit from us year round, and not just during the boot camp. Graduation from the boot camp, you go into active service, I guess, after the boot camp. Is that right? Is that what you call it? After your boot camp?
I guess, yeah. Active service sounds good.
It sounds good. Okay, so today we're going to be focused on the power of video, which, of course, for us here at Dottotech is our media of choice. Between our webinars, our YouTube channel, podcasts that we've done in the past, the tutorials that we do are all video style. So we're going to dive into the different reasons that you should be investing in video and giving you a better comprehension of exactly what video brings to the table. As per usual, we will be answering as many of your questions as we can in the chat while we're going along. Bob is there. April and I will be in the chat. It's not too long a video today. How long is it? It's about 30 minutes. Oh, maybe 23 minutes. 23-minute video. And we also are going to be announcing a brand new program that we are rolling out in the Gray Wave coming up in a couple of weeks in the topic of video, but I don't want to bury the lead. Let's just get into today's tutorial, and we'll see you folks on the other side. The opinion that there is no more valuable asset that you can create for your platform than video. That your investment in video is going to pay the greatest dividends in return for the amount of effort, amount of energy you put into it, and the impact that it's going to have in how well you can use it. And I think it's just going to increase as well. I think video has always been, once we were able to create desktop video and start to be able to publish it and create our own video, from that point on, it was the most valuable. The advent of smartphones made it more valuable because people could watch video in their hands. They didn't have to watch it at a computer or on their TV. And now the advent of AI just makes it more valuable. Why does AI make video more valuable? Because I think AI diminishes the value of other media types. I think that we as human beings believe or value sweat equity, the amount of effort that people put into the creation of something for us. We value that more than or as much as the content itself. So while AI might be able to do a terrific job of creating a written description or a written post or even a graphic, but certainly written content, if we start to suspect or recognize that the machine created that copy instead of an individual through their efforts, I think that diminishes its value. I don't think that we appreciate it nearly as much. Now, we probably believe it as far as the relevance and the usefulness of it. that might be there, but it doesn't engender goodwill. And I don't think it causes us to invest ourselves in that content. Whereas video and audio to a certain extent, but certainly video, you can't, at this point, we can't crib it that way. You know that right now you value this because I'm sitting here in front of you, spending my time, my energy, imparting my thoughts and my energy and knowledge to you. And you appreciate that. I'm sure, at least I hope you appreciate it. But typically speaking, we do, as a species, appreciate that effort, and we put credence in that effort. And we aren't going to be able to, AI is not going to change that, at least not in the short term. Ultimately, AI is going to have an impact on video too, I am sure. But for the foreseeable future, for the time being, I think video is the most valuable type of media that we can create. It's engaging. It's immersive. You are drawn in because it engages so many senses. When we read, our imagination and our eyes are involved. When we watch video, our imagination, our eyes, visually, our ears, we're drawn in audibly to it, and our kind of intuition is also brought in. We recognize people's expressions. We recognize all of the social subtle hints and subtle cues that help us communicate with other people. We recognize leaning in and out. We can tell when somebody is emotional or when somebody is being a jerk in the delivery. They're being sarcastic or sardonic. We recognize that in the voice when it's more difficult to recognize in written form. So it engages us that much more. People recognize. Seeing the written word on the page, you can eventually recognize how a person writes and their style of writing. But you recognize my videos the second my video starts because it's me. It's branded Autotech or it's branded the Gray Wave right away. You can recognize that and the authority that comes from that branding because it builds and builds when you start to see the same person being recognized several times. Video is so accessible now, and the smartphones have changed accessibility to video so that we can view video mobile almost anywhere. And studies have proven that we have better retention and understanding with the more senses that we that we engage in any process. So we can learn things more quickly and more effectively, and we retain it better through video. And there's just that emotional connection that happens when you see somebody and you start to form a relationship with that person, which we've talked about a lot. That building the know, like, and trust relationship is such an important part of our platform. And I don't think anything enables that relationship and that engagement as does video. And it can be live video or even recorded video. It gets us there nicely. So with all of these benefits to video, let's talk about the practical nature of where you can invest in how we actually can use video in our platform. And I have an admitted bias to YouTube. I think that YouTube is the platform of choice, and YouTube stands out against all of the other platforms that we can distribute our video in a couple of different ways. But let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at YouTube in comparison with its competitors, its social media competitors, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just those three. And compare how YouTube stacks up against that competition. And what is YouTube and what are they? YouTube's a broadcaster. I think we can all agree. YouTube is increasingly leaning into the entire concept of broadcasting. They're trying, you can subscribe now to YouTube and get live sporting events and all of those other things as well. So YouTube is a broadcaster, but that's not what makes YouTube stand apart. YouTube is, of course, a social network, as are the others. YouTube allows for the engagement, for people to have conversations, and for you to build relationships through threaded discussions. Inside of YouTube, you share updates, and YouTube does that not as well as Facebook and Instagram. They're better social platforms as far as the actual social networking, but YouTube has all of the underpinnings that make it work as a social network, and something that we can take big time advantage of in the ask you answer side of our business, because with the comments section, we can generate conversations, have people ask us questions, and pull from people the type of content they want so that we can answer their questions, so we can serve them and build our relationship. So it is a social network. I would say it's a B-level social network compared to Facebook and Instagram, which would be A-level social networks, but it is. What YouTube is that none of the other platforms are is a search engine. Think about how you use YouTube. Think about how you use any of the other platforms. When you come to YouTube, you come with intent. You say, I'm going to YouTube to look for this, to watch this video, to learn how to do this. That's why we come to YouTube. How do we find our content on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok? It's served to us. The algorithm determines what we're going to see. When we go there, now our habits will dictate the type of content that we get, but the machine decides what we actually see. In YouTube, we decide what we see. How? Usually we search. If we don't search, we go and we are brought to a feed-based homepage, which is the area that it's closest to the other networks. But at this point here, based on your interests, you choose which video to watch. So when we start to watch a video on YouTube, we go into that video with intent. When you start to watch a video on TikTok or on Instagram or in Facebook, it's been fed to you. The algorithms decided this is the next video you're going to see, and you have to watch a few seconds that to determine. That's why we swipe so much, because we go through to find the content we want. We typically stay on videos in YouTube longer because they are, first of all, the algorithm has determined they are in our interest, but we've chosen to watch that. Or more likely than not, we've typed in a search term and we've actually looked for a video on the topic that we're looking at. And so there's level one of us buying in, of intent. Level two is we actually choose it from the thumbnail. We click on the individual video that we want to watch. So we have displayed interest in that content in several different ways, and we've vested to a certain extent in that video, as opposed to just sitting back and letting it be served to us. These are big differences, the biggest differences between YouTube and the other networks. So when you create content for YouTube, the people who consume it aren't consuming it by accident or aren't consuming it by algorithm. They're consuming it by desire and by intent to consume your content. And if they return to your content over and over again, that's as close a sign that they are a follower of yours and they have bought in on your content and they believe what you have to say and they value what you do. Those are the signs that make that true. So those are the reasons that I'm a big fan of YouTube, amongst a few other things. As a discovery engine, YouTube will serve in the algorithm. We do go to YouTube and we search, most of us. But if you're not searching, YouTube does on your landing page, on your For You page, you land there and they will suggest videos that you've indicated an interest in. You can see what I'm interested in: AI. I'm interested in wireless microphones, what I'm looking at. I'm interested in fixing up my Toyota, which all of those things that are definitely germane to Steve. I don't get this relevant to content in TikTok. I get a lot of dog videos in TikTok. I do enjoy them, but I go for distraction. I don't go for edification to TikTok. I don't go to try and improve myself to TikTok. I come to YouTube if I'm looking to develop a new skill or accomplish something. Those are huge buying points. There's another aspect to YouTube that I think is worth considering, and that it is a valued partner, trusted partner. And I'm not saying that YouTube is trustworthy, as in they are just great, but in comparison to the other platforms, they are far more trustworthy because we recognize their goals and objectives, and typically speaking, they align with ours. Facebook and Instagram and TikTok have a goal to make money. Now, as far as Facebook and Instagram, the way that they want to make money is from their creators, but they want us to pay. I create content on Facebook. I build a community on Facebook, and Facebook comes back to me and says, Steve, it's great that you got 10,000 people following you on your Facebook page. Now, if you want to advertise to them, if you want them to come to your webinar, give us money and we'll get them to register for your webinar. They make their money from me, from the content creator. That sucks. YouTube says, Steve, create some good content, and if people like it, we'll show the ads and we'll share the ad revenue, and we will suggest it to other people who are interested in the same thing, and together we'll build a success story. I like that. And I recognize that. So YouTube wants to make money. Facebook wants to make money. Facebook wants to make money from us. They want me to give them the money. YouTube wants to make money with us. That's another profound difference. Now, yes, YouTube can be a jerk of a company, and they can disenfranchise people, and lots of content creators have issues with some of the ways that YouTube does business. But for the most of us, I would say in our space, we're not going to have any issues with YouTube. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years. I've never had a single issue. And I have generated considerable revenue from YouTube. I'll show you some of that stuff in a moment. There's other additional monetization opportunities inside of YouTube. Inside of the Gray Wave, I have a tutorial on making money on YouTube, and I think I came up with 7 different models that were all really viable models for generating income from YouTube, from sponsorship to product placement to affiliate marketing. There's a lot of different ways YouTube supports your financial ventures. Plus, YouTube gives us the most wonderful analytics and insights. No other network compares, other than Google itself if you master Google Analytics. But the data that we get from YouTube is so very valuable. And when we look at us living in a they ask you answer universe, seeing how people interact with our answers, with our content, is so valuable. And we can really use that to up our game dramatically. And video content is so very flexible as far as its versatility and where we can position it, where we can place it. So if you create a YouTube video, you create a video on YouTube, you can use the YouTube embed. You can play that back in multiple different websites. You can play it in a lot of different places. But you can also, far more excitingly, take chunks of that content and repurpose it. You could convert it into vertical format and make shorts. You can make Instagram posts. You can make TikTok posts. You can make all sorts of social posts from accents or from little bits and little snippets from your video. You can take the text of the video and you can convert that, the transcript, and you can convert that into a blog post. There are just so many different ways that we can repurpose and reuse the content, that our return on investment of the energy we put into creating the original content, the return on investment that we make from that original investment is profound. It's nothing else compares in the content creation space to what we get back from creating a good quality video. And of course, in YouTube, it's all optimized for search. YouTube looks at everything inside of our video and adds it to the search criteria. And if your video is good, then it will start to surface in search. And you don't always know when it's going to surface. It's magic. Let me take you inside and just take you quickly into the YouTube dashboard. This is my dashboard. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to basically show you behind the hood. You're going to see dollars and cents, and you're going to see numbers, which is something that we typically don't share too often. But I want you to recognize what you can get from investing in video. Now, I haven't been publishing a lot of video on my YouTube channel. I've been concentrating on the bootcamp. So my YouTube channel is pretty much in cruise control right now, coasting along. But this is the main channel. The analytics appear here. This is what I was talking about as far as how much information they give us and just how valuable that information is. They tell us the overall health of the channel right here on the homepage. And then you can go in and you can take a look at how much money you're earning. You can take a look at how many people are watching. Now, I happen to have noticed when I came in that I've got more views than the previous few months on my channel. And it says, why are you having higher than number of views? That's because recommendations, YouTube recommendations, has increased the number of views that I'm getting. What is it recommending? I look down and lo and behold, there's a video I did in April of 2022, two full years ago, on voice typing. And for some reason, YouTube is suggesting it a lot. A lot of people are looking on it. It's resurfaced. This is the beauty of the persistence and of the evergreen nature of videos. This is a video that I made 2 years ago that I've almost forgotten that I made. It's a good video, but I've almost forgotten that I made it. Want to see how much money it's made? Let's look. I'm sure you're curious. This is its retention, how much people are watching it. And you can see that they typically 30 seconds in, we still have half of the people, but then we have good retention. So people get what they want. And I wouldn't have expected YouTube to recommend a video that kind of drops off this much right at the beginning, but maybe that's the topic. I don't necessarily know. We can see how much engagement, how much people have commented, and how much the watch time is. And here we can see the income. I got a big boost of income when it first was released. And now all of a sudden, it started to generate significant income again on a daily basis. A video that I made 2 years ago has earned me $10,000 in 2 years. Now, weekly, that's not an awful lot of money, but I created this content once and it continues to earn for me. This is true passive income from this content now, as well as not just earning revenue, but it also introduces new people to us. So people now start to recognize if they like my education style, maybe they look me up or they notice me. They see me in a Facebook ad a little bit later for this, and they say, oh, I like that guy. He helped me in this area. He helped me with this content. So you recognize here the value of a YouTube channel, which brings me to coming up on the gray wave. We have doubled down almost every time we've launched the Gray Wave on some aspect of video. We've got inside of the Gray Wave, we have tutorials on screencasting, on Camtasia. We've got tutorials on earning money on YouTube. We've got how to create video. We've got live streaming tutorials on creating live video. And we've also got webinar tutorials, creating video for webinars, how to create web videos for online courses. We've got lots of really good tutorials on creating videos, and we're about to add one more. Gord Eisman, who last year did a terrific course for us on using Camtasia for business, which was incredibly popular, has developed a brand new course for us called YouTube Channel Essentials. So if you look at what I just showed you with my YouTube channel and you say, that's the direction that I'd like to go, we've got the solution for you. This course from Gord is going to be an 8-part series that's going to take you from neophyte to knowing everything that you need to know to be able to grow a YouTube channel. It starts with what does it take to succeed on YouTube, nailing your niche and defining your channel creation and setup. So all of the background stuff that you have to do to set up your channel and make sure that it's properly configured. Mastering engaging content and brand building. YouTube Essentials, understanding the algorithms and growth strategies, because there are definite strategies that you can follow that have been proven to work. Video metadata and leveraging video analytics. The essential tips for creating better videos on YouTube, so improving your quality of content, and content creation essentials from passion to publication. So this 8-part series is going to be starting up in about a month and a half or so from now. So if you sign up for the Gray Wave now, you'll be able to participate in the YouTube Channel Essentials course. We're also going to be selling it separately. One of the nice things that we do with some of the courses is if it's got a lot of external interest is we allow people outside of the Gray Wave to purchase the course and to take the course with us. So we'll be selling this course for $4.99 and there'll be students taking the course on the outside. We often do this with our better courses or with our premium courses. But if you join the Gray Wave, you get it for free. So it's almost like getting 5 months of the Gray Wave for free if you look at it that way. But Gord is a terrific instructor. The people who have taken classes with him are just constantly in awe of his attention to detail and how much he cares that each and every student in his class learns, understands everything, and gets to where they want to go. And this is the reason you'll be very pleased that you did. We are going to be diving into YouTube Channel Essentials very shortly. Let's wrap up this conversation about video. A lot of you, I actually don't know if a lot of you anymore, but there are people who are still a little bit intimidated by video. And it's one thing for me who does video and has done video my whole life to sit here and say, get over it. But it's not that big a deal. You can do it. Because obviously it does cause some anxiety and it causes some people a little bit of anxiety. But recognize that you don't necessarily have to be the person on video all the time. You can use and leverage a video without putting yourself out there, should you choose to. It sometimes is a little bit more work, but you can get there, and it's not that big a deal to get there. Additionally, if you do start publishing video that you're in, you should very quickly come to terms with the fact that it's not as bad as you might think it is. I always say one thing to people that are concerned about being on camera themselves and being on video, that they're going to make a fool of themselves. We're afraid that we're going to make a mistake or be shown to be the fool. But you just have to trust your audience to be the same caliber and quality of person as you are. I stumble all the time. Do you sit there and go, Dotto's an idiot? No, because you recognize the value of what I do bring to the table. So that if I misspeak, or if I stumble, or if I pronounce a word wrong, you laugh along with me instead of at me. People only embarrass themselves when they get embarrassed. And the audience's reaction to your embarrassment is what causes that miscomfort. If you trust them to be as kind to you as you are when you're an audience member, then you'll recognize that this is actually a fairly safe space. And so I'll just leave you with that one little bit of encouragement, because if you are getting into building your online business, content creation, and you are not looking at video, I think that you could be leaving out the most valuable tool in your toolkit: the power of video. Let's get to the Q&A. Here we go. The power of video. The power of video is indeed profound. The power of Steve to remember to send out all of the scheduling notifications to the entire community is somewhat suspect. So I apologize. Thank you all for that figured it out and came today. I apologize for that. That's on me, that the notification didn't go out.
We're already on it. Bob is going to do the remainder of them. So
I need you guys. You guys, oh man, just Steve. Okay, so let's get to the questions. I saw some great comments. Oh.
Let's see. So Alan's saying, are you able to share an outline of the topics, courses you plan to cover for 2024 season of featured programs on Thursdays within the Gray Wave?
We don't have a document with all of that information in it per se, but that's something that we could probably put together. We don't plan the entire year out. We plan pretty much quarter by quarter. So we know what's coming up in the first quarter, which is April. You're working on a CRM course right now. And
happening right now. Yeah.
And what's your next one after that? Remind me.
Yep, we're actually doing building an online business plan. So that's kind of the launch of that's like the kickoff of kind of the next session of Gray Wave after we do our orientation. And then we have
Gord is doing his YouTube essentials, and that will take us pretty much through the quarter, those two courses.
And then we're going to start back up with mastering Canva. Canva will be the next one.
Yeah. So we have usually 2 or 3 featured programs per week, per quarter, excuse me. But then on the Fridays, we do Foundational Fridays, and I have an ongoing schedule of those. And I don't publish that in advance because it changes based on new releases, new products, issues coming up. But so I hope that gives you a good idea of some of the upcoming topics. Hello, Gilly. Are you okay?
How many more classes do we have in the BYOB?
We have 3 more classes after today. Friday, we are doing AI. And then next week, we're going to be talking about some of the issues that we have as far as overcoming some of our shortcomings, generational shortcomings for building online businesses.
All right. Arlene is asking, how long do we have to watch all the replays after the course?
The replays, the 22nd is the last day that the Gray Wave is open, and then we'll leave the Gray Wave open to the end of the month. So you'll have to the end of the month to be able to watch all of the replays.
For video, what are your views on video that does not show close-ups of the presenter? I expect there's less emotional connection, but are there cases where it would work?
Absolutely, there's cases where it works, Alan. There's no rules. It's what you're comfortable with, and the style and the technique, and that each individual person is going to have. And Gord will cover this stuff in the course in a lot more detail. But when you're creating video, it's a combination of what's going to have the most impact on your audience, but also what are you comfortable with, and what can you produce comfortably within your skill set and within any limitations you have, or any if you have any insecurities or technical, or just have the technical ability. So there's no, it can all work as long as you're providing good, valuable content. A lot of I do a lot with my face on camera, and that's just a holdover from when I did television. That's the way that I created my content originally. But I watch a lot of other creators, and I see them only having face on camera for a short time and doing a lot of voiceover with screens and with slides, and it's just as engaging the content. And the case is, it's quite often when I do a video, if I've made a mistake, I'll take my face off and I'll do a voiceover to kind of as a cover shot, and it doesn't seem to impact the energy of the video at all. So you can decide on your own format, and it will work.
If I join the Gray Wave, will I be able to upload a video and have it critiqued?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing that happens. Not so much, we don't have an official program of evaluating, but that's what our Facebook group is for. It's the ideal place for people to upload some of their content, to share it, and then to ask for feedback. And we all give feedback on when that is done. So yes, it is the perfect location for that.
Do you respond to the comments, questions in these researching videos? Do you answer if they ask or create new content from it?
Yeah, I do pay attention to the comments in those videos. And yeah, if quite often new ideas will come up. But you should maintain your comment section at all times on your channel.
Hold on one second. I missed the live session yesterday, so we'll ask here: is there a minimum age for the Gray Wave?
No. We don't judge. We don't judge. I wouldn't tease us if you're 35 and you're in here and making fun of all the old farts. I wouldn't make too much fun of us, but no, we don't actually do an age check or anything like that. We focus our content, and we when we talk about us, we're talking about people over the age of 50. So as long as, if you're under the age of 50, you're certainly more than welcome. But just recognize that we might be doing a little bit of generational bashing of your generation from time to time.
No, you won't.
What's that?
How about building a website? Greg, we actually just did website building. So there's a whole module on that. Plus we have a lot of elements about website building, hosting domains, but we just finished a workshop series in March into April. That was all about building websites. So there's fresh content there for that. But,
and that is a topic that we revisit on a regular basis.
Yeah. And that's something where you can, when you go in and you consume that content and do that training, then you can ask questions. You're always welcome to email me or post in the group about something. So even though the content's there and it might not be live, you still can ask questions on it. That's what we're here to support you to do. And
inside of the Gray Wave, we do so much on that particular topic that it is a category inside of the Gray Wave. There's an entire category of in your dashboard, it'll say website creation and development. And we've probably got 10 or 15 pieces of content, from small little one hour courses to full courses on website content creation, website development, sorry.
Looking forward to joining the Gray Wave. Any progress with having PayPal as an option?
Yes, I have some bad news for you. And I don't know why I had a brain fart and I didn't remember the reason. The PayPal isn't an option for us for subscription services with our particular LMS, with our provider, because we can do one-off purchases with PayPal, but we can't do subscriptions with PayPal with our current shopping cart. So unfortunately, you have to go normal credit card or one of the other payment systems, Apple Pay or Google Pay or one of the others.
Let's see. Orientation, when is that? So Bob, I actually, there's orientations are starting on the 25th. However, for our new members that are coming in now, I have one scheduled for next week that we'll get an email about, and then one the following week. And then after the 25th, we jump into more orientations and then new content. The remaining BYOB sessions will be accessed through the Facebook event. I noticed I didn't get an email reminder with the link today.
That was, that was, you will get email reminders on the rest of them. That was an error, unforced error on my part.
Yeah, so I do create in the group though, in the Facebook group, there is always an event. So you can check off to remind yourself too there. It'll give you a notification on Facebook if you use that. Do you have a CTA on each video, or shall we just do what we want, what we do, and add value?
I if you've gone through the effort to create a video and publish a video, if you think back to my content modules that we've taught, I say for every piece of content, you have to have an outcome. You want to, it has to be a purpose to the content you create. And so for videos, a call to action. So for those of you that a CTA is a call to action. So it's where we actually ask our audience to do something. And you'll see, a generic call to action is please like and subscribe my video. That's a very kind of a lame call to action. But having driving traffic towards a list builder or a lead magnet or more of your content is something that you should be doing in each and every one of your videos. They should have a purpose that is going to advance your cause. So you should definitely have a call to action in it. Sorry.
All right. Is it a good idea to start with the Facebook group and other assets for Gray Wave prior to the orientation? So, I mean, absolutely. The orientation is really about navigating the group, showing you where to find things in Thinkific. So, you can jump in whenever you want. I highly encourage you to jump in the Facebook community at least and kind of say hello and, look through the post. You'll get an idea, a feel for the community. But I would also look in the dashboard. But if you are joining, we are doing an orientation next week, and then we'll do one after the week after. The thing with orientation, I usually do 2 sessions and I do them at different time zones. So I try to accommodate everybody. But you will get an email reminder, and I'll also post it in the group and on the calendar about orientation next week.
And if you do come into the Facebook group, we like to see you come in the Facebook group as early as possible, and then post about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and kind of read the other members' little descriptions to get a feel for the community.
I work with astrology charts, so the idea of video is amazing. What equipment is needed to switch from screen to table view? And Mary is one of our new Gray Wave members. Mary,
welcome, Mary.
welcome.
I'm not sure what. You mean by switching from the computer screen to a physical table setup? You need to set up a kind of a multi-camera shoot of some sort. Now you can use webcams for the video for your face, and you could use your iPhone or something like that to capture the table, and then you will edit that copy together. It's not a difficult process. It's just being a little bit organized in your planning, but it's very doable.
Do we have to buy Gord's course?
If you're not a member of the Gray Wave, yes, if you want to take it. But if you're a member of the Gray Wave, it's included. All of the Gray Wave's pricing structures, everything in the Gray Wave is covered. We never charge you any extra for anything that we do inside the Gray Wave. So at least none of our courses and classes. If we were to do a mastermind on the outside or something like that, there might be a time when we do that. But everything that we are talking about in this launch is included in the price of the Gray Wave.
Let's see. Sorry. What video software is covered in the Gray Wave other than Camtasia and Descript?
The tools that we use are primarily Camtasia, Descript, and Canva would be the other tool that we would use for video. We probably have some content inside using a tool like Loom. And then there's webinar tools that we talk about we teach using from Zoom to those sorts of tools which we cover. But for video creation, primarily we stick to Camtasia and Descript. But the philosophies that we teach, or the styles and the techniques that we teach, are transferable to every editing package.
What software are you using to create this session?
So this session has had 3 pieces of software in it. I recorded my original demo using Descript, and then I did a rough cut edit and created a transcript from it. I packaged it up using Camtasia, and we're delivering it now using StreamYard.
Is the Facebook group fully private?
Yes.
What time zone are the current accountability sessions typically?
They
Um,
are
it's
10
usually
o'clock
at,
noon or 1.
it's usually at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 1 Eastern Standard Time. But depending upon, so this is one of that I mentioned yesterday, if you were here, the accountability sessions were, we can either add more if it warrants it at a different time zone, or we can change it, because the accountability groups are really for the members, right? So we want to be able to provide that at a time that we can, obviously we can't cater to everyone's personal needs, but we can try to find a consensus of a good time to work with everybody.
And if you have a time that you really want to have an accountability group going, and it's not one that's convenient for us, you can have it. And you can invite other members of the Gray Wave in on your accountability group and make it a regular thing. And we'll let people know that it's there and is available to them. We're here to facilitate the community getting together. We don't necessarily need to be the stars of each and every moment.
What software are you using to create this session?
Well, this session, as I recorded the videos before using Descript and Camtasia, and the delivery of this live stream is coming from a tool called StreamYard, which is a live streaming webinar tool.
I'm not quite ready to join the Gray Wave. What's the next open window?
No guarantees, but we will be considering doing it again in November, and we'll see how it goes before then. There's a variety of different kind of criteria that will allow us to make that decision, but most likely November.
What's the difference between Facebook group and a mastermind?
Facebook group is for the whole entire community. A mastermind, we've done a mastermind in the past. We don't have one currently. Mastermind is where you get a small group of people together and you work intimately on on your planning, your shortcomings, your strategies, and it's typically speaking, 8 people, no more than 8, maybe 10 people at the most in a mastermind. And it's a group that meets regularly, and you really work as a cohort, kind of working with each other to help each other and get to know each other's businesses quite intimately.
Welcome, John and Susan, to the Gray Wave. Good to see you there. John, I saw your question about kind of what's next. Take a look at your inbox. You should have an immediate email, and you'll have probably 2 emails from the Gray Wave kind of that tell you the next step. If you don't see it in your inbox, I definitely check your junk folder, but it has all the next steps, and you're welcome to email me at april@dototech if something comes up. And just shout out to Gord about our YouTube thing coming up. So true. I came into the Gray Wave for Camtasia course, and I'm now building a successful YouTube channel thanks to Gord. Yeah, Chris has worked really hard, and she's done a great job, and Gord has been a huge facilitator of that. So
thank you for sharing that, Chris, and congratulations, and thank you, Gord.
Hold on. Do you have a call to action?
We already answered this one.
Yeah. Was this one? Is Gray Wave an affiliate program where we can earn by referring it?
No, don't have that set up.
That looks like it's it.
Good. Thank you all so much for the feedback and the questions. This Friday's tutorial. Oh, we got some good stuff happening. It's AI, and so I'm going to be. For those of you who have not yet used AI or are still wondering about AI, we're going to start kind of at the beginning of AI and look at how AI is impacting us in the content creation space, in the online marketing space. And we'll show you from the very simple, basic starting point through to some of the kind of more sophisticated applications that we're using primarily in the content creation space. But we're going to be looking at the impact of AI on our community this Friday. And this is going to be the first time I've taught this particular. This is a new lesson that wasn't in the Gray Wave last time, in the boot camp last time we did it. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it lands. April, thank you. Bob, thank you. We will send out notification that we are doing next, that we have Wednesday, that we have Friday coming up. For those of you thinking about joining the Gray Wave, don't delay. Come on in, get to know each other. So we have hours and hours of content that you can consume, that you can start with before we get into any of the live content. And April is in the middle of teaching a CRM course right now, and you might want to catch up on that, because that is some good value there happening right now live in the Gray Wave as we speak. With that,
bye guys.
Till Friday. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, April. Thank you, one and all. Have fun storming the castle.